Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good to see you here. We're going to be using Mishkan Tefillah. Make sure it says Shabbat on the side. If it says weekday and festivals, there shouldn't be anyone there. But if it should say Shabbat for the purposes of our service, we're on page 360 because at this time of year, Sukkot, we study words from the book of Ecclesiastes. And so we're going to sing those words right now on 360.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die. A time to plant, a time to reap. A time to kill, a time to heal, a time to love, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together.
Please join with us. Turn.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace. A time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to mend, a time to sow, a time of love, a time of hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
In addition to celebrating Shabbat, we're celebrating Sukkot. In addition to that, we're celebrating Michael Green's Bar Mitzvah. Just wave, Michael. That everybody could see, Michael. Okay, I know. So now, Courtney and Evan are getting married next week, which is fantastic. So we're celebrating that. So many things to celebrate. I want everyone just to check in with the people, particularly behind and in front of you, who you don't necessarily know. Just go and ask them what their name is, how their week was. I'd like to invite Kate Alexander up here. Kate's a representative from our Board of Trustees and is just going to tell us about some of the amazing things happening at Kolami in the next little while.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you to Rabbi Malcolm and Cantor Jen for leading services this evening. I'd also like to thank the Green family for lighting our Shabbat candles tonight and sponsoring the Oneg in honor of Michael becoming a bar mitzvah tomorrow here, right here. Come back at 10 in the morning. I want to express my appreciation for Chris Tackett on the piano, the tech team, the facilities team, and all the staff and volunteers that make our events possible, and you all for being here. Tomorrow, Torah study at 8:30 in the morning, followed by Shabbat service and the bar mitzvah at 10. Mazel tov to those celebrating October birthdays and anniversaries. Join us in the Founders Hall at 11:30 tomorrow after services to help make lunches for the homeless. Sign up for the Congregational Simchat Torah dinner Wednesday, October 23rd at 5:45, before a Simchat Torah celebration and the 3rd and 4th grade consecration. The office is closed on Thursday, October 24th. Shmini Atzeret morning and Yitzchor services will be held at 10 a.m. on the 24th. And lastly, a reminder that we are partnering with the Tucson Community Food Bank with Project Isaiah. So please help out others in our community by donating non-perishable food in the box right at the back of the sanctuary. So on behalf of the clergy, the staff, the Board of Trustees, Shabbat Shalom, and have a good evening.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Really appreciate it. Let me just be clear about the Sukkah. Unless there's an absolutely ridiculous biblical deluge, we are going into the Sukkah after this service. Okay, I'm determined. With that in mind, tonight, let our shelters be strung with the finest fruits of creation, love, fertility, prosperity, and wisdom. Let us promise to feed the hungry. Let our harvest bring peace. So I'm going to get the Green family to join me down here to light the Shabbos candles. Page 2 for the candle blessing itself. Okay, let's just get you to read a nice English
Oh, this here? O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Echad, shtayim, shalosh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We turn forward for words from our Psalms on page 12 for Lechuna Ranana. Words from Psalm 95. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Ladonai. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Letzuri Shenu.
סליחה. נריה, נריה, לצורי שנו, בזמירות נריה לו. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה
To welcome the Shabbos bride on page 20 for Lachadodi.
Lecha dodi ligara kala bene Shabbat nekabela 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 shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad hishmiyanu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet lecha dodi ligara kala bene Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi ligara kala bene Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat lichu v'necha ki mekor Haberachah merosh mikedem nezucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila lecha dodi ligara kala bene Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi ligara kala bene Shabbat nekabela itorari kiva orei kumi uri shedaberi kivod Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi ligara kala bene Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi ligara kala bene Shabbat nekabela boi v'shalom ha'terei bala gaim besimcha u'vetzola bene Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi ligara kala bene Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi ligara kala bene Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi ligara kala bene Shabbat nekabela.
Please be seated on page 22. You can see the Hebrew for our next psalm section just in the indented part of the page. Tzadik katama yichrach ke'erez b'levanon yiskeh. The righteous bloom like a date palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon.
Tzadik katama yifrach ke'erez b'levanon yiskeh ay 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 Tzadik katama yifrach ke'erez b'levanon yiskeh שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. צדיק אתה מה יפרח, כארץ בלבנון יזכה יזכה. איי איי איי, צדיק אתה מה יפרח, כארץ בלבנון יזכה יזכה. עוד ינום בסבע, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להגיב כי ישר אדוני, צורי ולא הבלטה בו. איי איי איי, צדיק אתה מה יפרח, כארץ בלבנון יזכה יזכה. איי איי איי, צדיק אתה מה יפרח, כארץ בלבנון יזכה יזכה.
Page 26 for the half Kaddish.
יגדל ויקדש שמי רבה,
Amen.
ויעמד יברח חירותי, וימליך מלכותי,
בחייכון וביומכון,
ובחיי דכל בית ישראל.
בגלה בגלה,
ובזמן קריב ויאמרו
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם עולם מעמיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה
בריחו.
לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה,
תושבחתה ונחמתה,
דמירם בעלמא, ויאמרו
Amen. Page 28, please rise.
Yai la 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 yai la yai la la, yai la 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 yai la yai la la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 yai la yai la la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Middle of page 30, we say together, Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv haravim. In the middle of 32, we continue. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever.
Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Page 34 for Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto,
Please be seated if it is your custom. Vahavta on 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levenecha v'dibarta bam v'vishtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam la'od al yadecha v'hayu totafot bein einecha uv'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha l'ma'an tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem
Adonai Elohechem emet.
We continue responsively in the middle of 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory.
May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. This melody for Sukkot. Mi chamocha b'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nor tehilot osef ele, nor tehilot osef ele. Let's try that. Mi chamocha b'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nor tehilot osef ele, nor tehilot osef ele. Malechutecha ra'u vanecha, בוקי היום לפני משה ומרים, זה לי אנו ואמרו, זה לי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כיפר אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Page 42 for our blessing, our evening blessing, of course, asking God to make a Sukkot of peace over us, over all of the Jewish people, and over Jerusalem. The Hebrew itself you can find right in the middle of the page, beginning with Baruch Atah Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei Sukkot Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei Sukkot Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim Shalom. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei Sukkot Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
So V'shamru can be found at the top of page 44. If you've got strength left in your body after Yom Kippur, then I please ask you, anyone wants to twirl around during the refrain, just to show a bit of simcha, a bit of joy, then please go ahead. We'd love you to do it. V'shamru at the top of 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשו אדוני, עשו אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבועות וינפש, שבועות וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. On page 46, please rise for the tefillah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei b'neihem, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו משני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Take a few moments for yourselves.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, אמרי פי,
Middle of 62.
והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, וגואלי, וגואלי, יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, וגואלי, וגואלי.
Going to hear some words of wisdom from Michael's parents. Dale, will you come up here?
In this week's Torah portion, Kol HaMoed Sukkot, Moses is being given a do-over by God with the Ten Commandments, and they will meet on the top of Mount Sinai. God tells Moses that no human can see his face, so he will put Moses in the cleft of the rock and shield him while God passes by. This seems very proactive on God's part in comparison to other times in which people disobeyed God or his representative. Adam and Eve were told not to eat from the tree of knowledge, but the object of temptation was not removed. Lot's wife was turned into a pillar of salt, and Jonah was swallowed by a large fish for their noncompliance. Moses will disobey God in the future when the Israelites need water, and because of his actions, he will be forbidden to enter the Promised Land. God did not shield these people in these instances to prevent negative consequences of their actions. Each of these people used free will to choose. When God shielded Moses from seeing his face, he took away Moses' free will. Why was Moses protected from seeing God's face, but not prevented in the future from offending God when acquiring water from the rock? Was God trying to ensure that the second creation of the Ten Commandments would go more smoothly because there would not be a third chance? Did he feel that protecting Moses would guarantee the continuity of Judaism? If Moses had looked at God's face and died, would anyone else be able to take the leadership position? Moses had asked to see God before. God explained that no human can see his face and live. Maybe God did not want to risk being the direct cause of Moses' death. Parents also try to find a happy medium between letting their children make choices and protecting them from serious harm. Empowering children to become independent is imperative for healthy child development, but there is a strong instinct to keep our kids safe. God seems to have provided examples for us to follow for raising children.
Shabbat Shalom. Mazel Tov, Dale, to you and all the family. Going to take a moment for healing. Recently added to our healing list, Lisa Rochel Bashana Sura, Jane Gruner, Florrie Jacobs, Sharon Wittenberg, Susan Kaplan, Daniel Ben Esther, and David Heller. We're still thinking of the 101 hostages been held for 378 days in Gaza. there anyone in the room who'd like to add a name for healing? Someone who could use some extra help? If we mention their name, alert people to their predicament. Thank you, Barbara. Sherry? Rita? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sean and JJ and his wife.
Thank you. And I missed someone, please. Thank you so much. From the online part of our community, Rivka Bas Esther and Elizabeth Kariolich. The middle of 2:53 for our healing prayer. Please rise physically or spiritually if you'd like to hold hands or link elbows, whatever you feel comfortable with. 2:53.
Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishepera imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Please be seated. So with my remarks this evening, I'm going to let you into a little bit of my history, so please bear with me on that score. But before that, on Wednesday night, the first night of the Sukkot holiday, I was so appreciative of the men of Kol Ami, led by Scott Turk and his merry band of builders, who put together a sukkah which we gathered around in the foothills. Now, anyone who was visiting Jim Jacobs at work, where you're here, right, Jim? Thank you. Okay, that evening would have been extremely confused by the sea, and the parking lot by his office had been transformed. Aside from the beautiful sukkah which had sprung up, we had a good crowd of people who sang with us, shook the lulav and etrog, and enjoyed the delicious juice boxes on offer. Don't knock them till you try them. In our tradition, we are told, Kol shivat hayamim Adam oseh sukkato keva uveito arai. All 7 days of Sukkot, a person renders his sukkah his permanent residence and his house his temporary residence. So we're immediately confronted with what makes our home a home. And the command to live in a sukkah as much as possible for a week is a challenge for us. If we're told to discard our usual home so easily, what really makes it a home? And how can the sense of homeliness be recaptured if we're told to leave our usual permanent place every year at this time? Now, to answer this question, I examined some of the homes I had dwelt in over the years. When I was born, I lived on the Chalk Hill estate in northwest London. Alex is going to show it to you on the screen, okay? Palatial, as you can see, all right? I lived in one of the small apartments with my parents. Now, if you went there now, you would not find my first home. Since crime took over that particular housing project, the local government, in its wisdom, decided to demolish the whole thing. Now, I have no recollection of the apartment I lived in there. I was only 3 years old when we left. So does it count as a home if you have no memory of it? Right now, there is a brand new development built on top of it, and the Chalk Hill estate has faded into nothingness. In reality, my real childhood home was 25 Cranmer Road, just on the edge of London, England. From what you can see in the picture, it's only the red bricks, just to be we weren't that rich, okay? Just that half of the structure that you see. And I spent decades there, having moved in 1976. Now, there was nothing remarkable about it. In many ways, you could walk to green rolling hills, which was wonderful. And from that house, in the back garden, there was a pear tree whose fruit was very much like cannonballs in its hardness. That was delayed. The carpet in my bedroom was a strange hue of orange and brown. And now these colors could be seen very clearly due to the lack of curtains. We only had see-through netted versions to cover our windows. There were pictures of our family on hastily assembled shelves, reams of books from my parents' bookstore, and a Marc Chagall print of a wedding couple under a green sky with a goat floating in the air, like many Chagalls. One of the best memories of this place was looking at the sunset out the back door at June time, knowing the freedom of summer was just around the corner. Now, this became my Bayat Arai. This became my permanent residence because of my family who inhabited it, the memories contained therein, and it was a place I felt safe and nurtured. Now, from there, after I married Sarah, we rented a couple of places, but the first place we bought was 10 Lionel House, a small one-bedroom apartment in a London suburb called Wood Green. It was sold to us by Isabel and Chris. Isabel was from Poland, and Chris was from Nigeria. And the setting was much more urban. The streets were energized with what I would call a frisson of danger on every corner. And central London could be reached much quicker on public transport from that apartment. Now, I used to gaze out the back window at the geese on the canal, overshadowed by Alexandra Palace. It was built in 1873 to celebrate Queen Victoria's birthday, but known more by my contemporary locals for its ice skating rink. Now, we lived there only for a short while, the best memory being a surprise birthday I threw for Sarah's 30th. Nevertheless, we were fond of this place as a home because it was where our life together really started. And that sense of home can arrive because of just a very few significant events, even if the span there is short-lived. Now, finally, I offer you 17 Thorold Road. The house itself, again, only the structure with white walls in the picture at the end of a terrace. When we bought it, it was scarily expensive, at least at the time. We could not afford the mortgage, and so we had foreign students in London to learn English, stay with us, and pay rent. They hailed from Russia, from Japan, Italy, Croatia, and France, the temporary inhabitants of our house, reflecting the diverse city which surrounded it. Now, again, we lived there fleetingly, but this home's significance lay in the fact it was the last physical vestige of our connection to England until we sold it a few years after moving to the States. Now, that brings me to my current home, our sukkah. I don't think it feels like home compared to the house we live in a few paces away. We'll have people in our sukkah who we care about. We might make some memories and I'll feel safe in it. But remember, Kol Shivat Hayamim, Adam Oseh Sukkato Keva, Uveito Arai. All 7 days of Sukkot, a person renders his sukkah his permanent residence and his house his temporary residence. You totally flip it. So how does anyone make a home feel like an actual home? Partly, I would say it's kavanah, an act of intention. If you believe enough that a particular place is your home, it can become exactly that. And so when you move cities or even countries, if you have the right mindset, a place or a house or an apartment you never considered before can evolve into your home. And so as we dwell in huts here at the synagogue or in our private place of residence, let's focus on the homes we've enjoyed, both temporary and permanent, the memories and people we've enjoyed in those places and the way that they have formed us. Shabbat Shalom, Moadim L'Simcha. So we have birthdays and anniversaries, but as I mentioned before, we also have a wedding upcoming next Thursday night after the holiday goes out. So Courtney and Evan, you just have to stand up. We're going to embarrass you first, okay? You've got to stand up, like literally now. No delay, okay? So we're really, really happy that we as a community can share in your simcha and in your joy. And these two young people are really, really wonderful, remarkable, kind, thoughtful people. Really, really smart, great sense of humor. You should totally get to know them, okay? If anyone else is celebrating a birthday or an anniversary, kind of like old news, not the new news that we've got here, but it still counts. Birthdays or anniversaries, if you're watching at home, you can stand up wherever you happen to find yourself, and we'd really like you to join in this celebration. Eternal God, source of all life, we ask for your blessing on the members of this holy community who are celebrating birthdays and anniversaries on this Shabbat. For those celebrating birthdays, may you look back on the past year and appreciate achievements and obstacles overcome. May you acknowledge the gift of life and the precious nature of living in the moment. May the year ahead be full of love, health, and inspiration. For those celebrating anniversaries, may you enjoy the accomplishment of another year of your relationship, the struggles and the successes, the hard work and the moments of joy. And anyone here celebrating a wedding upcoming? Anybody celebrating an upcoming wedding? May all of the Jewish people around the whole globe celebrate with you and hear raised in joy kol chatan v'kol kala, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride. And for all of you reveling in special occasions, may you relish many more days in the sun where the fullest desires of your heart come to fruition. Let us say amen.
Amen.
And let us sing.
Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Yehelanu. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov mazel tov u'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Yehelanu. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Uvecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Uvecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Uvecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Uvecho Yisrael.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Would everyone please turn to page 282 and rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula l'yotzer b'reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, ve'gor aleinu k'kol amonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגופי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. יקדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Please be seated just before we do Kaddish. If there are people here who are commemorating a yahrzeit of a loved one or a recent death, feel free to join me at the front. Take one of these stones in your hand, weigh it carefully, place it on the table as you remember your beloved. If you'd like to do that, come down now. We do mention those who died in the past month, Janet Brown and Joyce Bird, and those whose yahrzeits fall on this Shabbat, Jeffrey Alan Addlestone, Oscar Barab, Irving Bartz, Fred Bain, Ezra Ben David, Eugene Corky Bergman, Louis Boba, Lillian Bryn, Shane Brock, Jack Brown, Fanny Capin, Jenkins Cohen, Betty Edgar, Herman Eidinger, Seneca Ehrman, Hazel Evanchik, George Fisher, Nellie Flanagan, Stephen Friedman, Ava Gerstel, Louise Gibbons, William Greenberg, Edna Grosskind, Flora Kaplan, Evelyn Kirschbaum, Virginia Clufter, Julian Krantz, Harry Levy, Harry Lewis, Susan Matheson, Eleanor McDade, Molly Miller, Aaron Paul, Lawrence Quater, Mervyn Reiners, Francis Levine Sachs, Bess Sandroff, Lily Schwartz, Richard Schenkerau, Elmer Silverman, Hinda Simmons, Hiram Seufer, Lillian Spilker, Aaron Stieglitz, Bernard Sussman, Helen Tepper, Selma Weinstock, and Bella Whitman. If there's anyone in the sanctuary who wants to add a name, if you haven't heard the name mentioned already, then please make yourself known to me. Mark. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. from the online part of our community. You also mentioned the name of Beatrice Simon. The Mourners Kaddish can be found on page 294. Will you please rise to support the mourners as we say, Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlik malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yahei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithada v'yitale v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yahei shalom araba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. V'imru, 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 Amen. V'imru, 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 Amen. Please be seated for a moment. On page 5, you can find Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tefillah lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki banu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Ooh, it's fresh.
Now, just to be clear, we are going in the sukkah after the service, okay? Who's with me? Okay, good. So we'll see you in there. If anyone...
Closing song.
Okay, absolutely.
Oh.
No, yeah, I'm just warming up to the closing song.
Okay.
No, don't you fear. I just want to make sure that you get a chance to do the mitzvah of dwelling in the sukkah. Come find me if you need the blessing. We also have various sets of 4 species here. We'll take those in the sukkah. If you want a chance to do that mitzvah, you didn't have a chance yet, come find me. I'll show you the blessing. And our final song is, This is What We Need to Build a Sukkah.
Great. So before we start singing it, please repeat after me. But don't forget.
But don't forget
That we must see
that we must see
the sun peeking at us through the roof. The sun peeking at us through the roof. Very important. Roof. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, they got it.
This is what we need to build a sukkah. Wood and branches, hammer and nails. This is what we need to build a sukkah for this holiday. This is what we need. This is what we need to build a sukkah. Wood and branches, hammer and nails. This is what we need to build a sukkah for this holiday. First we build a frame with wood and cover it with branches. Lots of fun to do, but don't forget that we must see the sun peeking at us through the roof. This is what we need to build a sukkah. Wood and branches, hammer and nails. This is what we need to build a sukkah for this holiday. Now it's time to hang the apples, carrots, and bananas, pears and popcorn too. But don't forget that we must see the sky peeking at us through the roof. This is what we need to build a sukkah. Wood and branches, hammer and nails. This is what we need to build a sukkah for this holiday. After it is finished, we can eat inside the sukkah. We can sleep there too. But don't forget that we must see the stars peeking at us through the roof. This is what we need to build a sukkah. Wood and branches, hammer and nails. This is what we need to build a sukkah for this holiday.
Shabbat Shalom, Mo'adim l'simcha.
Mo'adim l'simcha.
See you in the sukkah.
Chagim uzmanim l'sason.
Right back at you.